I am resident of Totally 32 Dual Scenes. That's my buddy Gordon Dymowski, my buddy Patrick McCray, my buddy Alan Gallan. We are here to review The Sting, starring Robert Redford, Paul Newman. Dana Elker is in this movie. My God, this
Dark Shadows connection, always.
yes, this movie's up. By the way, they did a little MacGyver episode that pays tribute to this movie, and
Yeah.
it's fun. It's fun. Um, so really, really fun movie this is. When did you guys first see The Sting? Gordon, you go first.
Um, I actually first saw it a couple of years ago. I mean, I remember seeing the commercials on it growing up, and if I hear that do 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 once more, I would have, as a kid, I would have probably assaulted someone. But I first watched it a few years ago and was really pleasantly surprised by how easygoing it is and how I it may sound like I'm damning it with faint praise, but it feels very effortless. It's just a very easygoing movie.
Yeah. Yeah, there was an interview that Robert Redford did a few years back where he was talking about doing this second feature with Paul Newman, and he says that the he had to adjust to Paul's rhythm. And there's a question of rhythm, and that's probably why, because they decided to play it, or Paul was playing his sort of in this mid range in terms of pacing and in terms of energy and all of that stuff. And so he went right along with it. Although I think Redford has a little bit more energy because he has a lot. He actually has a lot more scenes. He has, especially walking around the city at night, getting chased, and all of this sort of thing. So, but yeah, I think that was a thing that was established between the two of them pretty, right away. So it's pretty cool though. It is. You're right. It's got a nice smooth sort of pace and energy to it.
Hmm.
Patrick, when did you first see this?
I was taking a class on macho men of the silver screen, and I ended up we watched this because we wanted to study Paul Newman and Robert Redford and Eileen Brennan.
Yeah. I mean, and Robert Shaw comes in a distant fourth behind
It's
Eileen
true.
Brennan.
Eileen is tougher than Robert Shaw.
Yes.
I was watching the train scene, and I was thinking, if Robert Shaw had just gotten that shark alone in a train car, it would have been a much different movie.
Yes. That's right. Get him on dry land.
Well, you grew up in the 70s, and
Mhm.
this movie's talked about all the time. It was, even though it came out in 73, 74,
Yeah.
it was seemingly always on television in the late 70s.
Was.
And it was perennially my father's choice for what to watch. Not remembering that I was, 6. And my understanding of these things is actually about what it is now. But it does what it does so charmingly, it doesn't matter.
Well, uh, I think it's great for 6-year-olds to watch this movie actually, because especially if you're going to go on to be in the theater, or in film, because
Sure.
it's all there.
Yeah.
The acting chops are incredible. Everybody. I mean, it's like there's a locust cloud of really high quality character actors in this
Sure. I mean,
movie.
it's nothing but, hey, it's that guy.
Yeah.
But they're actually doing stuff that's worthwhile.
Oh yeah.
It's not police procedural kind of crap and
No,
whatever. It's
no.
this is something a step up.
Hmm. And it was I had forgotten how good Robert Earl Jones is in this. Of course, his son being James Earl Jones. The apple definitely didn't fall far from the tree. The quality of acting is right up there. Plus, Robert Earl Jones actually was a link with the time in which this whole movie was set. He came up in the 30s, and so that was kind of an interesting connection. I'm sure he had things to say when they were shooting this film. And I'd totally forgotten that Sally Kirkland was in it. So,
Yeah, you have I like how you have a hit woman this movie. That's
Oh yeah,
something that's
it's
really
total
cool.
surprise the first time you see it.
Yeah, it's something that's so cool because it's something I didn't like. I mean, yeah, you'd see something like that in a horror movie, maybe. But like this, I was not expecting that at all when I
Yeah,
first.
that whole stalking scene where it turns out that the guy he thinks is going to kill him is actually protecting him.
Hmm.
That was pretty good. That was really good.
Yeah, that and her initial murder is a murder of a gangster, is a murder of another hitman.
Yeah.
Which it's like it's so, and it's so cold blooded too because you hear the. I love the sound of this movie. Not I'm not just talking music. The sound, the footsteps, the cars, because you hear footsteps coming, and he's in that alleyway, and Robert Redford's character's gone into the sewer, and you hear like footsteps walking, and then the next thing he says her name, but he doesn't say what her sex is, and you just gunshots, bam, 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 but with a silencer to boot. It's like now that was awesome.
Yes. Yeah.
So really, really cool that they did that in this movie. Um, I do love the chemistry between Paul Newman and Robert Redford. But I also think like the chemistry between the heel and the baby faces in this movie is really, really good. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Uh, the train sequence is it's funny because he's got the liquor bottle. Oh, he's got the liquor bottle, and he's like acting like he's drunk, and
The really cool thing is too the all of the scams that they pull. It's explained to the audience without having to actually like stop and explain it. It just sort of comes into the
Hmm.
conversation and in the doing. But one of my favorite character actors from the '70s, John Quaid. That's from Every Which Way But Loose, where he played the ridiculous head of the biker gang, comedic relief in that. But he played toughs in hundreds of television shows back in the day, in the '70s and '80s. Um, Pretty unsung guy, but he worked a lot. And I mean, obviously, he's not the only one. There are tons and tons of people in this movie. Dana Elcar, of course. And that's another one of those things where they scam the audience. The Dana Elcar's character is a total sting. Um, but you
Have you
don't know it.
mentioned, have you mentioned Ray Walston?
Yeah, Ray Walston is, yeah, he's great in this too.
Yeah. Harold Gould.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's, I mean, those are the main characters. There's tons of us, William Benedict, Pauline Myers, um, Ed Bakey. He's the skinny guy with the mustache and the slicked hair that's running the betting numbers at the beginning of the film. That guy's in a
Good
million
movie
things.
for mustaches.
What's that?
It's a good movie for mustaches.
It is.
Hmm.
Mustaches aplenty.
Yes.
So much that Robert Redford really stands out.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah.
I think at some point in the costume conversation.
Oh, we lost him.
Yep. Not
Yes,
my
I think.
fault. I did nothing.
Okay, no, I think he just. I think it was the Knoxville effect.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think he's
Yeah.
right though. To finish his sentence, I think that there was probably conversations in
Speaking of
costume
which,
and
we should encourage Patrick to write a horror script called The Knoxville Effect.
the nuts, where you get sucked into the computer every time it dies. Uh, that's the only way they can reboot is with human blood. Robert Shaw is interesting in this because he plays a mark. I mean, he plays a tough guy, but he's a mark. He's not the guy who knows what's going on. He thinks he does, but he doesn't. So that's an interesting, sort of differential for him. He's only what 2 years from Quint. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah,
yeah,
Robert Shaw. Oh, this movie, man, because he gets he wants Robert Redford's character caught and killed with he killed off his friend earlier in this movie. But the one detective, Charles Durning's character,
Hmm.
who well, he's a more of a cop, but he I like how the FBI, the fake FBI, is messing with Charles Durning.
Oh, I mean that whole scene you've come to find out is just an elaborate scam.
Yeah,
The whole thing, but Durning gets his because, of course, he's a corrupt cop,
Hmm.
and they all know it because they're scammers, and all the scammers know the other scammers. Um, so that's kind of interesting. Um, I don't know what had Durning done before this, or was this his first big sort of big movie? It's a pretty large part. I'm not sure what else he would have done before this in terms of films. I guess I would look that up. Um, Let me see what here we got. Best known films include The Sting, Dog Day Afternoon, Tootsie, etc., etc. Um, he was
Yeah,
also
the Sting, he had done some films before, but this would have probably been his first, like, hey, it's Charles Durning.
right, right, right. In an A big time A movie. Yeah, yeah, because he was doing stuff since the early '60s, just not big stuff. He was in Hi Mom in 1970. That was, I think that was,
Scorsese's first movie.
yeah, and I think it was also, I wasn't that also Laura Parker's first movie?
Yes,
Yeah,
I think it was.
yeah, yeah. That's an interesting. So there's another connection. Yeah, he was in a lot of sort of second tier or art films or that kind of stuff until The Sting. Big time. And then he did the front page right after it, of course, another period piece. So,
Patrick,
and
you were saying about your thoughts. You got cut off.
Like, I was
we're
just
talking
ranting about
about,
mustaches, of
yeah, the
course.
mustaches and how
Yeah,
the,
sure. I think that's pretty much all that needs to be said.
yeah. Yeah, I think you were about to say something about it was probably some of it was probably planned by costuming and
Oh,
hair.
it wouldn't. It
Yeah,
actually it's so deliberate. It wouldn't surprise me, or it looks
yeah,
so deliberate. It wouldn't surprise me because it makes Robert Redford really stand out.
yeah, yeah.
Well, it
He's
also makes him look much younger.
Well, yeah, and he's 37 here, and he doesn't look it. He looks like he's in his 20s or late 20s, a mature 28-year-old or something. But also, Edith Head's costumes are incredible in this movie. And those suits that he wears, especially the ones he wears early before he goes into the tuxedo, right out of Dick
Uh,
Tracy. I mean, it's just great stuff. Big shoulders and, uh, the sort of yield sign line in the back and all that stuff. And Edith, of course, was also from that era. Uh, so that's perfection in terms of getting the right look down for everybody.
What's some of you guys' favorite uh, set design and costume design?
I like all of the adapted spaces. I think that's something that's really interesting in the film.
Yeah.
Uh, the because that's what organized crime and disorganized crime would be using. Would be adapted spaces,
Yeah.
warehouses and things like that were found. And I think there was a lot of care done in how to bring those to life and how to use them in a theatrical way, and still have them look to run down. I think a clever and subtle eye for art in the
Yeah,
film.
it is. It's almost like the designers probably designed it to be empty and then designed it to be full and very meticulous
Yes,
about doing that.
yes,
Yeah. Yeah, the betting parlor is fantastic. I mean, the way they set that whole thing up the ante room where he sits there with his microphone. Ray Walston sits there with his microphone.
Yeah.
It's great, and he's got the ticker and everything else. It's just like these guys are professionals.
Jordan,
Well,
Yep.
Yeah,
you
I
got to.
think. Yeah, I think. I'm gonna have to go with. I like the way that it uses, yeah, as Patrick said, adapted spaces. So, like, when they go into the empty pool hall, but then they turn it into the betting parlor, or the brothel that's conveniently located in the kind of Ferris wheel.
Yes. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Uh, I I love how 'cause Robert Redford he did do an interview when he said, man, he did a lot of running.
He did.
I just love how the the chase sequences in this movie are a lot of fun. And then there's just the things you're not expecting, and this new Charles Durnings's character like appears out of nowhere. He grabs Robert Redford's character because he's been looking for the FBI. That's
Mhm.
airplane.
That's that whole setup. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and then he also like appears out of nowhere, like in his car, and like he's chasing Robert Redford at the beginning of the movie, like he's captured them.
He's looking for his cut. He's looking for his
Yeah,
payoff.
he
I
wants
mean,
the
he's
money
not.
back.
He's. I mean, he's he's like a Los Angeles police officer of those times too. They were really super corrupt, just like the Chicago ones
Mhm.
were.
Uh,
Not all Chicago cops, of course, but there was
No,
some.
no, at that time, all
Yeah.
Chicago cops were
There's
pretty
a
much.
lot. There was a lot.
Remember, The Untouchables was not a documentary.
Right. That's
no.
right.
Um, but yeah, this movie's a lot of fun to watch too. I mean, Redford, Newman, Shaw. That whole poker scene is my favorite sequence. That whole thing, it's just funny.
Yeah.
Because they steal his money and shit. And it's just,
Well, I mean, the great thing is they stole it ahead of time. All they had to do was sell the idea that he was
yeah.
losing it. You
Hmm.
know.
Uh, uh,
Yeah,
uh,
it's great stuff.
what this movie is a top five, obviously, for Robert Redford in this movie. What are some of your favorite Robert Redford Paul Newman movies?
Well, there's only two. He only did two together,
Yeah, two
and
together,
the other
but
one was Butch and Sundance. So,
yeah.
yeah.
So what's like separately? What's some of you guys' favorite?
Mm.
Okay, if I'm looking at both men separately, I think Newman, I would say, and I don't think there's any bad choices, but a couple off the top of my head would be The Hustler, um, and of course, The Color of Money, The Verdict,
Yeah, Verdict's a great film.
hmm and I think Road to Perdition, even though he's got a very small role in that, I think he's really good in that. Redford, ooh, again, it's one of those. There's so much. There are so many good films. I'm trying to think of. I know there's Jeremiah Johnson off the
Yeah.
top of my head. Uh, was it 3 Days of the Condor?
Yep. Really
Um,
good, sort of espionage type movie.
hmm
The Natural.
Yeah,
definitely.
Fantastic movie. He was an athlete when he was younger, and I mean, he maintained an athletic presence, physical presence, which is why he ran his butt off in the movie we are now discussing, and was able to do it take after take. He did. He was athletic. Um, what? I'm trying to think. He did the film version of the stage play that he was also in. In the film version, he was with Jane Fonda, uh, Barefoot in the Park. It's a really good early movie of his. He sort of establishes his presence in those early movies, but obviously he's not really. I mean, we consider him a big star even from those movies in retrospect, but he wasn't a big star until Butch and Sundance. Really, he they were concerned that he wasn't going to be able to hold up against the established star, which was Paul Newman at that time. So
Patrick, what are some of your favorite Paul Newman and Robert Redford movies?
Oh, I like Quintet, of course. Buffalo Bill and the Indians is one that I enjoy. Blaze, who can forget?
Blaze, that's
Uh,
right. I had forgotten about
yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's great. It's a fun movie.
HUD. Of course, when time ran out, Erwin Allen. That has occurred to me. Is anyone gonna mention Cool Hand Luke?
Cool Hand Luke. Nope, nobody had mentioned that.
Yeah, that's a terrific movie. Cat on a Hot Tin Roof.
Yep. Yeah,
He's
he
he's
did
terrific
that, and he
in.
did Sweet Bird of Youth, didn't he? Or not?
Yeah, yeah, and of course
Yes.
Silver Chalice.
Yeah.
It's a terrible movie. But still
I
there you
think
go.
he
So
reflected on it as being a terrible movie too, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah,
Silver
and
Chalice.
just the things written on the back of his food. I always enjoy reading these
Yes.
strange little essays of his life.
Yes.
You make a film out of those, and people would be very confused. Let's look up Robert Redford here and see what strikes me. Of course, really when you can cap off your career with that, was the Captain America thing he was in.
Yeah.
That's trouble. I'm now worried about Harrison Ford. His days are numbered. Let's
Mm.
see. Maybe anyway, but Callista. But here we go. All right, Robert Redford. Robert Redford. Yes. Okay. Well, natural strikes me. Brubaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Redford. He was in that Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah, we placed Death.
The
Yeah.
darkness. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The candidate. Um, Comes out. I feel like he was in. Was this me, or was he in more than Newman?
I think it was probably true in the last 3 decades, at least, that he was in more films than Newman, um,
Yeah,
up until he decided to just voluntarily quit acting,
yeah.
which was late, actually. I mean, he
And
was.
what was the story on that?
I think he was done with it. He wanted to direct a few more movies, which he ended up doing, and deal with with Sundance and all of that sort of thing, and be a part of that. He was also an enormously generous person with both his time and his money. So he was doing that sort of thing. He was more an under the table guy. He didn't have an organization like Newman did, but he was doing a lot of that kind of work.
And he was
Yeah.
big in the production.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, as far as I know, he was probably still planning stuff up until he died in terms of, producing films or maybe even thinking about directing again or whatever. Because he was very comfortable behind the scenes. I think the last movie he might have made, full length movie, was a movie about that old bank robber, uh, which he got back together with Jane Fonda. I believe that was like the third movie or fourth movie that they made together over a period of 50 years, 60 years. Um, but though it might not have been her though. That might have been Sissy Spacek. Actually, I can't remember.
because I think Redford's last appearance might have been the series Dark Winds that he was producing with George R. R. Martin. But it's also interesting how Newman and Redford really had a diverse array of things that they were doing besides acting. Newman was a race car driver. He had
Hmm.
his, he had his line of food items that raised money for charity. Redford had Sundance, and it feels like they were actors, and I'm sure there are more out there, but these were the last of a breed of actors who said, I don't have to just act, and not everything I do has to be about my brand.
Yeah.
It's more about I just want to do it because I'm sure that Newman when putting out pasta sauce and popcorn was like, I just want to call it something else. No, it's got to be Newman's Own because you'll sell it. Are you sure? Yeah, okay, whatever. If it's my face going on it, might as well.
Yeah. So Avengers Endgame was actually the last live action thing that he did.
Ah.
Okay, so
But
I'm
The
wrong.
Old Man and the Gun was the year before that, in which he played the character Forrest Tucker, who was a bank robber. And that was Sissy Spacek played his love interest in that. Casey Affleck, Tom Waits was in it, Danny Glover was in it, and that was his last full length thing. And he may have done that last, and then Avengers came out after, because Avengers was a small role. I mean, well, not medium sized role, supporting role.
I never heard medium size applied there.
No, no.
Well, especially if Redford played a guy named Forrest Tucker. I mean, it may
Come
not
on.
be the same Forrest Tucker, but like Patrick said, I don't
It
think
has to
medium
be.
size would be
Yeah, it
I
applicable.
has
think
to
it
be
would.
colossal. Uh,
Well, at
Uh,
least he didn't play a guy named Milton Berle. That would have been,
no, that would have been too obvious.
yeah, he would have had to show enough to win.
Yeah.
for me, Paul Newman, obviously the hustler. Somebody up there likes me, which is a really good accent.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Um, Color of Money, obviously.
Did he do was he the one that did that weird, was it the milk train doesn't stop here anymore or something like that with Natalie Wood? I can't remember.
I'm not sure. The A movie I will recommend that I've watched with my kids. I think he does voice work in is Cars, where he plays a judge who hates race cars.
Right.
He's playing a talking car, but he does a phenomenal.
Right. No, I'm
Uh,
thinking of This Property is Condemned, which he did with Natalie Wood in 1966. Charles Bronson's also in it. Robert Blake's in it. It's a one act play by Tennessee Williams turned into a film, basically.
I will give you a very underrated Robert Redford that I love, and I own it on Spy Game. One of my favorite Robert Redford movies.
Sneakers. Don't
he's
forget
in,
Sneakers.
Sneakers, yeah.
he's in it with Brad
Oh
Pitt.
yeah.
Sneakers is a fun movie.
Hmm.
It's a really good movie. He also did one with an interesting one with Brad Pitt. Trying to think of the name of it now. That would have been in the 2000s, I think.
Spy Game, yeah.
Spy Game. Yeah, that's it. Spy Game. The one you mentioned.
Yeah.
How about that? Yes,
Really
that's
good.
it.
Obviously Brubaker, the natural.
Mm-hmm. And he did Pete's Dragon, of all things, the live action version of Pete's Dragon, which is kind of fun. Nice family film.
What did he do in that?
He played the grandfather in that, the one that actually was the first person in town that ever saw the dragon back when he was a
I
kid.
saw the movie.
Yeah, I saw the movie.
I had a choice between that and King Kong, and I was a manly 5-year-old, so I said King
There
Kong.
you go. Yeah, this was
When
a
Doyle
live action.
Lonigan died, nobody cried.
Oh yeah, he did A Walk in the Woods. I forgot about that.
Well, the plumbing froze up.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, does the Pope take a walk in the woods?
Once in a while, but he has his vestments carried for him by attendants.
Only when the bear's Catholic.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Which is only during Oberammergau Festival. So.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of anything to ask you with this movie. We're all going to give this movie a 10. It's great.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's fabulous. I even love the art direction of the credit cards. You know, that's all that 20s, 30s kind of uh, font lettering. The illustration work looks like Arrow ads from the time. It looks
Yeah.
very cool. It's very cool.
And of course, you know, we think as good as Newman and Redford are, we got you know, Davis and Gleason for finally getting it right.
Yeah, that's right.
Who played the same
Yeah.
character? Yeah, what do you know? We're talking about basic film 101, The Sting 2.
You had to
Even
remind
Sting
me.
you.
It was a Sting too, didn't you?
Well, a really perverse movie and a strange bit of casting.
It's actually a
most
kind of
handsome
a fun
men.
romp if you separate it.
It is, and I actually prefer the Doyle Lonigan in The Sting 2 to Robert Shaw. You know, forgive me, world, but yeah, I
That's
like Oliver
okay.
Reed.
Yeah. Well, Oliver Reed's one of my all-time
Marvelous
favorite
heavy.
bad boys anyway, and he's a much badder boy
Yeah.
than Robert Shaw was.
Oh, then Robert Shaw. Yeah.
I mean, Robert Shaw was actually an effete academic writer, even though
Yeah, he
he's a
was.
tough guy. He wrote novels.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the only thing that Oliver Reed would do with a novel is use it as a beer blotter.
Yeah. He tried to eat it if he got drunk enough, I think.
Yeah.
Ollie. I mean, they cast Robert Shaw as a bad guy, a beautiful bad guy. They were terrified to cast Oliver Reed as Bond, but they thought about it.
Yeah, they did. That would have been hell on wheels, man. The wheels would have been on fire.
That was the problem. It was for Live and Let Die. Oh, and they just said, we can't handle it.
It would have been just get up and die.
But what an amazing, if you hired the right handlers, because obviously somebody did, because he was in movies.
Yes.
Imagine what a set of Bond films that would have been.
Mm-hmm. Keeping him sober long enough to get through.
Make sure the martini
and get insured for those kind of movies.
The insurance is the most, yeah.
Make sure the martinis weren't real. Is there anything you guys want to add before we go?
Most excellent movie. Absolutely a 10.
Great movie, yeah.
Love it.
Absolutely. Straight. I don't know if Butch still wants to do this or not. I did know he wanted to do it. He wanted to talk Jeremiah Johnson. If he still wants to do it tomorrow, for Sunday, would 9:30 be okay? If he can't do it or is unable, we could pick a different movie.
Yeah, just let us know as soon as you can.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the he?
Butch Rosenbaum.
Oh, well, yeah, for Butch, absolutely.
So, and then October we'll be picking horror movies and that everybody think of some. So we're gonna link to Gordon Dymowski's Amazon page and website's going to be description box. Link to Patrick McCray's Charles Daybook Unbound is going to be description box. Link to Alan Gallan's YouTube channel. Collins Porch After Dark will be in the description box. You folks have a great night.
Peace, love, dope.
Good night, all.
Good night.